We've heard a lot of numbers tossed around regarding the magnitude that abortion represents. It's easy to lose sight of the individuals that those numbers really represent. It wasn't until recently I visited a cemetery for the innocents that was put together up in Cedar Park Church in Bothell, where they took 3,700 little crosses and pounded them into their field out there. It was a huge display. This has been done before, but I've never seen it. It was quite impacting to see a visual representation of the lives that this truly represents. It was quite an eye-opener, and take a look and see what you think.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Pastor Joe, for this opportunity. And I want to thank each of you for your commitment to prayer. Prayer changes things. As you drove up this morning, you might have seen a few little crosses dotting the grass. But now, they're finishing up right now. There are going to be about 3,700 of these white crosses. Each cross represents one life that has been lost every day in our country since abortion was legalized back in 1973. What that amounts to, as many of you may know, is over 50 million innocent lives that have been lost to abortion. This is our hope. This is why we're out here doing what we're doing today. We want everybody who drives by or who walks up to this memorial to know that their life here is a gift from God, and to learn that every life is precious, not just theirs, but everyone, and that you are made in God's image. To also know that you have a calling, and that is to defend the unborn. They are truly what Jesus talked about, the weakest among us. They have no voice. I just want to thank you again for your commitment to prayer, and as you lead groups for the National Day of Prayer, I just would really ask that you remember to pray for life and to pray for the protection of the unborn. And as I was thinking about what to say to you this morning and just praying a little bit about it, I just want you to know that your prayers are literally the difference between life and death. When it comes to abortion, it really does make a difference. So some ideas on how to pray: just start by praying that abortion will end. Pray for the doctors who are performing the abortions, that they would have conviction and that they would stop practicing abortions. Pray for our country, that the minds and hearts and attitudes would be softened. My 7-year-old, who's out there right now working on hammering in the crosses, he asked me this morning, he said, "Wait, Mom, so President Obama, I don't understand, why does he believe in abortion if he has children?" And you know, you receive those questions from little kids, and it really doesn't make sense, you know, and their hearts bear witness to the truth. And so pray for our country. Pray that every abortion-bound person today, or the day that you're praying, will instead choose life. Pray for our ministries who are on the front lines and who receive the hotline calls. Pray that they'll have godly counsel, and that the women will be motivated to call those numbers first rather than going into Planned Parenthood or some of the other abortion providers. And then pray for the women and men who are experiencing an unplanned pregnancy in their life, that God will gently lead them, that He'll provide for them. And then I would also ask you to pray for every life that has been touched by an abortion. There are some great ministries. You may have heard of Healing Hearts or Rachel's Vineyard, and they really minister healing that is desperately needed to women and even men who have been part of the process of an abortion. And lastly, I'd just like to encourage you to pray for our Congress. There's a lot of emails going around right now that you might have received about attempts to try to defund Planned Parenthood. As you may know, they are the largest provider of abortions in our country. They perform an abortion every 96 seconds. And to date this year, they've already received $80 million just since January of taxpayer money Planned Parenthood has. And so when they already profit from performing abortions, we need that to stop. And so there's some tangible things that we can do to help that happen. And Pastor Joe has graciously volunteered to let anyone who wants to take these crosses, if you have land or if your group has land and you want to set up your own memorial, 3,700 of these. We had a couple of guys and recruits that they made. They worked very hard to put all of these crosses together. We had kind of work parties of people in the church who painted them all white. We would love to get as much use out of them as possible, so keep that in mind too. So I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time and your prayers.
This experience sure gave me some perspective on what truly is going on in our country and across the world, and the magnitude of the lives that are lost each day represented in that field. But let's talk about some more numbers. We won't have the benefit of seeing a visual depiction of them, but just to help you understand the magnitude this truly represents. In Pierce County, we had 11,537 births, 3,855 abortions. That field represented the number that were lost in Tacoma, or in Pierce County. And right behind me here at Tacoma Planned Parenthood, we've seen close 40 to 50 lives lost in a single day here. This goes on day after day, day after day. As a percentage of the births in Pierce County, abortion represents 25%. 1 in 4 children die to abortion in Pierce County. Let's step it up. In Washington State, 90,270 births, close to 25,000 abortions. It's 21% of all births end in abortion in Washington State. In the United States, 4,247,000 births, 1.2 million abortions. 22% of all pregnancies end in abortion. And here's where it gets really staggering. And this is the part that I really want everybody to pay attention to. Worldwide, we are destroying over 42 million children per year. There has never been a human event. There has never been a natural disaster. There's never been a disease, a war, nothing that compares to the loss of life that abortion is taking at 42 million every year. We had the Holocaust, and we thought those numbers were big. Some estimates up to 10 million lives lost through eugenics in the Holocaust. We do 4 times that many every single year, and no one seems to pay any attention to it. Here's some more perspective. Abortion is the #1 cause of death in the United States. Heart disease takes 600 and some thousand every year, but abortion takes 1.2 million, almost double. All the wars that the United States has fought combined, 1,335,000. The Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and now Afghanistan and Iraq. 1,335,000. We kill that many in 1 year with abortion. The World Trade Center bombing. The United States was appalled when 3,000 lives were lost in the destruction of the World Trade Center. We kill more than that in 1 day through abortion. Here in Tacoma, when we see 40 to 50 innocent children lose their lives here, if the world knew that 40 to 50 innocent little children were dismembered and thrown in a garbage can, they would be outraged. It would be a world headline event. But as soon as we say, but it was from abortion, oh, that's a different story. Why didn't you say so? And there's no conviction over that. I hope that this all is giving you opportunity to understand the magnitude of what is going on in the United States and throughout the world. I pray that you will not only just hear this, but you will do something about this, become active. There are many ways that you can actually do something to help stop the killing that goes on, but to say nothing is to be an advocate, and it will just continue to perpetuate. God bless you all.